Hello, fellow Nexusites or Nexarii. Gorath here, sometimes or known IRL as Bo Schwartz, and I want to tell you, you have a right to be here. Where? In the Nexus, specifically Heroes of the Storm. And the reason why I want to talk about this week is I've heard a lot of feedback from individuals, just randomly people tweeting out or in casual conversation that they are done playing with people they don't know. And I really get a sense of that they feel the environment is hostile towards them and that the reaction is, well, I don't want to be a part of this because of these people. And I think that's awful. I think that's terrible. I think everyone has a right to be playing this game at any skill level, at any point in the game. And no one has a right to make other people feel like they shouldn't be here or they're in some place they're not supposed to be or that they're not welcome. To be quite clear, a game is only as good as the community that supports it. And who can blame people for feeling kind of crappy about playing a game with other people only to be abused by them? So I want to talk a little bit about why you shouldn't give up on playing with random people and why you just shouldn't, if you really want to play this game, you should play it your way, but why you shouldn't necessarily bow down to the people that are bullying you effectively out. And here's a few things that I think, just thoughts. I might be crazy or off my rocker or just way too out to lunch, let's say. So, first of all, games are completely windows into your soul. Everyone, if you play a game, no matter what game it is, you are showing the world your vulnerability. And the reason for that is games, besides being a series of mechanics, require a human's agency. You have to make decisions. Not only decisions about, do I roll the dice or do I skip my next turn in some board game, to, well, how do I prepare for this game? What is my approach to the game? How do I eat on a daily basis to approach this game? And make no mistake, to play a game, you don't have to consider any of these, but they're all decisions that impact what effectively happens in the game. And this also includes, how do I treat other people who play into the game or who play the game? All of this, you cannot play a game unless you shut yourself in some single player game in your house and not expose yourself to another person. Even if you're playing The Witcher 3 on the couch with a loved one or your children, they see your decisions, your manners, your agency in the world tells a story about you. And if you're a poker player, you understand what I'm talking about, because in that game specifically, you look to what people do in order to find a way to trap them and exploit them and win. But, poker aside, it applies to all games. Human behavior is being exercised here, and it is a way for people to show themselves. Now, what does this have to do with people being jerks to me in my quick match games and my ranked match games? Effectively, people that mouth you out for no reason, or even if they have a reason, it's still not an excuse to abuse you, are basically exposing how powerless they are. They're really actually, it might seem intimidating, but what people are doing is saying how powerless they are. It's extremely, I don't think when people are abusing people, how much they reveal about how little they actually think of themselves as. And this is really, really important when you're approaching games to not get tilted when people do bad things, because you're showing yourself as much as everyone else is. And so I would feel that in an environment like that, like when we think of, I don't know, let's say Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, where people are exposing themselves and their problems, we generally want to be very sensitive towards one another when we're in that environment. It's funny that when we get into a game with people on our own team, that we actually respond with vitriol. And I think a lot of it has to do with the internet, which is, I think, a separate conversation. But as it relates specifically to gaming, no matter what game it is, your behavior actually reveals more about you than you even would care to admit to yourself, especially those people who are abusive towards others and who always have an answer for everything, like they're know-it-all, and make other people feel shitty, who show that. What they're actually showing is how powerless they are. Because if you're someone who feels like they have a sense of agency and a sense of self-worth, you don't need to do these things to other people, because your value here is not hinging on what's happening in the game or the outcomes specifically of the game. You know, not focused on results, focused on process, focused on the moment, all of these things. So it's really important that you yourself think about this. What's my approach to the game? What am I doing in the game? And to like balance that out with what people are throwing at you, because you know, it's not just, the story isn't just what they're saying to you, but it's what they're saying about themselves and what you're saying about yourself. So it's maybe hard in the heat of the moment to consider all of these things, but I guarantee you, you know, I have been told I'm an amazing player by teammates and told I am the worst player ever by teammates. It makes no sense. It's more about what that person's feeling and not about any objective measurement of reality. And anyways, it doesn't matter because you have a right to be there no matter what. So don't let people who are going through their own psychological issues and screaming into the void of the internet, to which you happen to be a part of, actually affect your ability to participate in this game, because that sucks. That sucks. And unfortunately, when you're the person who, I don't know, I want to say knows better, but maybe has a more sophisticated understanding of things, generally speaking, the reward is not you get a gold medal. The reward is nothing. So being the bigger person sometimes is its own reward, and that's all it is. Now, everyone has a right to play. You need to keep this in mind before you type out anything to anybody in the chat, no matter how bad it is. We have a right to play. We want people to play. So the best you can do is be the change you want to see in the world. Is that a Gandhi thing? I don't know. But treat pickup games like pickup games. Quick match, if you're someone that gets crusty over quick match games, stop. It's like going down to the local basketball court or hockey rink or whatever and just playing some games. That's all quick match is. No need to, you know, bust your head thinking about the ramifications of some meta and how some guy sucks so much and why did I get match made with him. It's for fun. You know, you're going to get the guy who's bad and the guy who's good. You need to get away from that completely. Quick match is less of an issue, but ranked play can be a big issue. People kiss so much when they're winning, and they give each other all kinds of hell trying to find who's the weakest link. And often the weakest link is trying to cast aspersions on someone else and throw off what's going on. So you have to keep in mind that you're trying to rank up and everyone else is trying to rank up the same way. They're grappling with the same problem. Someone who's got a shit all over somebody doesn't realize that. They have a sense of entitlement, or they just don't understand what they're actually in there to do. So we've covered already, exacerbating the problem doesn't help. Don't let this discourage you from being there. They've got their own problems to overcome to rank up. Like, there are definite skill gaps where, like, I'm in rank, you know, bouncing between rank 5 and rank 20. And there is definitely opportunities there for me that I need to get better at in order to continue ranking up. And I'm trying to figure out what those are, because, you know, the journey is the reward. And that's the next thing specifically about ranked play. My ego tells me I'm a rank 1 player. People compliment me on my play more often than not, but I am not a rank 1 player. So I have to keep my ego in check. There's stuff I gotta learn. And most importantly, when I get to rank 1, what else do I do? Or even when there's a Grandmaster League, what else is there to do but keep ranking indefinitely until you hit the top level? I think our RPG brains, and even in Heroes with the leveling system, like that dopamine hit of hitting the next level, of feeling good about a sense of accomplishment through progress. That is not what the rank system is for. You are where you're supposed to be at all times, and you just need to learn what is happening. Your approach to the game is your window into the soul. So if you're frustrated and you choose to deal with your frustrations by venting about it, by being negative, by doing anything other than rolling up your sleeves and doing the Walter White thing of applying yourself, you're revealing, you know, things about yourself you may not realize. And it may feel good to do these things, and everyone needs to vent and have these comforts from time to time. But make no mistake, your approach to the game matters. The way you treat other people matters in the long run. And for yourself. So, and for the health of the community. If you truly love the game, you have no reason to scare a single person off. That is not constructive. So, and we all have to remember that from time to time, because we all do lose our patience when we really want to win a game. But learning to harness that is something that you need to learn as you want to play more and more of the game and want to improve. You have to learn to deal with these things. Finally, practice. 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 It kind of has nothing to do with your right to be there, but the more you practice, the more you understand the game, the more you're invested in it, the less you get tilted by people that tell you things. Go into AI and grind out games to get your muscle memory up. Play lots of games. Try practicing positive social interactions. Practice in all that you can allows you to be more centered when you meet opposition in this way, and allows you to deal with it better. You know, the more and more games that you play this game, the less and less someone saying you're the worst, worst ETC in the world affects your mental state less, because you've got a lot of time under your belt. You know where you're lacking and where you're not, or hopefully you're trying to understand. And so these things should become less tilting the more you practice the game. Also, mouthiness is generally proportional to ignorance. So just keep this in mind as well, that usually the people who know the least are the ones talking the most. It's true in life, and it's true in Heroes. The people that have to point out mistakes and who's the best and who's the worst and why they carried and whatever has a need to create the world that they believe in and have others believe in it. And they don't spend their time applying themselves. So also keep that in mind. If ignorant people are pushing you off the game, you're letting ignorant people run your life. You're smarter than that. I know I am. So you just have to kind of, and this is a bit arrogant, but look down at it a little bit and say, well, hopefully they learn their lesson sometime. It's got nothing to do with me. And that's the key thing to take away from here, is that jerks will be jerks even if you are the best objectively player. If you have the best player loses games. It's, you know, and if that person, these people you get paired with, they don't know your prior history, your whole story, or who you are. They'd mouth you out as much as they'd mouth out the actual worst player of the game. And if you are the worst player, sorry for calling you out. Finally, and the last thing you need to keep in mind to keep this all positive is that your opinions do matter. So you should blame Blizzard. That's right. The dev team behind Heroes of the Storm has been out there a few times saying we'd rather you took a dump on us than take a dump on other players. And I think that is an amazing thing for them to say, that they'd willing to be the shield maidens of our collective contempt, because, you know, it's that negative energy really sucks for anyone to take in. And I think it really sucks for people that work there that even have to put up with, you know, interactions that are not positive. However, they're the ones putting the game out there. They're the ones taking our feedback and making changes that we'd like to see, which include how we interact with one another in this environment and other community events. So you are not helping anything whatsoever by lambasting any other player, no matter how justified that you feel that you are. And again, this isn't about being a cuddly teddy bear and having everyone like you. It's about liking yourself in a way too. And it's also about not letting people keep you from playing a game that you choose to play. So I think that's all I've got to say about that. Keep playing quick match, keep playing ranked, and keep trying to get better, and keep being humble. Those are like the things that you need to do. Play with your friends, and if that's the way you want to enjoy the game, that's fine. But just keep in mind that games are windows into your soul. So if you have and don't want to cast judgments or aspersions on people, but if you have a sense of avoiding problems simply because they're challenging, you know, think about what that says too, because that is a real thing, and that's a tough thing for people to hear about themselves. And I know it's a tough thing, you know, we all have things that it's hard to hear about ourselves on a higher scale, not just on a game mechanics, you suck at this person, but on a, wow, I really sort of have a tendency to behave this way in life, and look at what this game's showing me. Everyone who plays Heroes has an opportunity to learn something about themselves in how they play, interact with one another, and how they choose to deal with the adversity that is cast against them. And especially in a game like Heroes, it's very tense, moment to moment, not a time where you can take a turn like in Hearthstone and think about what you need to do. This game really shows you who you are in those tense moments. So That's enough preaching for me, or whatever you want to call it. I've ranted and said all I've had to say. Next week we'll get back to talking about some fun heroes, but I just want my fellow players to stop being discouraged by the individuals who do not get to say who gets to play in this game or not. And if that's you, you need to think about what I said and stop. All right, anyways, those are my thoughts on making a more positive environment for you to play in. Is be the change you want to see. And, when are we going to get Gandhi in this game? Until next time, good luck and have fun.